morning. I would like to thank you all for joining us for Disability Awareness Day 2020. I am Denise Portis, the chair of the Commission on Disability Issues. This event is held via Zoom, and it is a webinar style event. If you are used to meeting in this style of Zoom, you'll recognize that you can't see your face. This is in place so that we can hold the event and focus on our speakers, our honoree, our awardees, and our entertainment planned. Closed captioning is available for this event. Please click on the closed captioning button at the bottom to enable it. As most of you are aware, October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Numerous citizens and businesses from our county have made a difference in the lives of individuals with disabilities. We are here today to recognize a wide variety of entities, from community groups to companies who have strong track records in employing people with disabilities. We welcome you all to this virtual forum and appreciate you taking the time out of your day to help us recognize these deserving individuals and to help spread disability awareness. This year also marks the 30th anniversary of the signing of the American with Disabilities Act. The ADA has impacted individuals with disabilities by enhancing the independence, full participation, inclusion, and equality of opportunity for Americans with disabilities. Please take a look at this video to see how the signing of this momentous piece of legislation impacted people who attended this event.
On the day Bush signed the ADA, we convinced him that we should make it a great big celebration since there's so many people directly affected by the passage of the ADA.
Well, it was a glorious day. July 26, 1990 was a clear blue sky, the sun was out, there were 3,000 or 4,000 people, many with disabilities and their families on the south lawn of the White House. And the president was on a platform with leaders of the disability community to sign the bill into law.
I don't know how you describe the signing ceremony. We had people everywhere. They were on gurneys, white canes, wheelchairs, walkers, and seeing-eye dogs. I mean, any device that helped people get around was represented that day. We covered the White House lawn for sure.
The most people ever gathered on the White House lawn for a signing was July 26, 1990. Never been that many people there for a signing of a bill before. Biggest group ever in the history of this country.
I had the pleasure and the real privilege to ride to the ADA signing ceremony with John McCain. So we drove right into the White House, and then we walked outside and became part of the masses. The South Lawn was packed with people. All of them there had worked and worked and worked to see the law passed. So it was a shining day and a shining moment. And I mean, history and the weather just cooperated in a way you don't see very often.
I sat with Senator Kennedy in the 89th row back or something like that. And, you know, all the pomp and circumstance began, and we were kibitzing with each other and kind of looking over the crowd, and Kennedy leaned over to me and he said, Pat, I said, yes, Senator, I got a little problem here. And I said, what's that, Senator? He goes, what happens if he reads the bill before he signs it? I said, don't worry. I mean, the senator knew that nobody really understood the impact of what this piece of legislation was going to do.
I now lift my pen to sign this American...
And then the president ended his brief remarks with that clarion call, let the shameful wall
Let the shameful wall
of exclusion
of exclusion
finally come tumbling down.
finally come tumbling down.
And that sent a tremor through the entire crowd.
Best moment was President Bush was there. He was signing the ADA. Evan Kemp was on one side. Sandy Perino was on the other side. And there was a priest, Reverend Wilkie. And he had no arms. So the president signs the legislation, and then he hands the pen. He hands the pen to Evan, hands the pen to Sandy. And then President Bush hands the pen to Reverend Wilkie with no arms. So he picks up his foot and grabs it with his toes. Like, it's the perfect moment right there.
There was a lot of pent-up emotion and anticipation in that crowd. And when the president finally put his signature on the bill, a great roar of approval went up, and it was extraordinarily special. And then the rest of the day was given over to celebration. A lot of folks who had put in years, decades, trying to reach the point that was achieved that day, let their hair down and had a lot of fun.
Just this feeling of we did it. I mean, here we were, having been told for so long how powerless we were, and here we were with the President of the United States signing this document that was our Emancipation Proclamation, essentially. It was just a fantastic feeling.
It was one of the most electric moments in time. It was like we were transported to another place. We were 20 feet off the ground. 3,000 people were 20 feet off the ground. It was like a tremendous party. A very controlled, love, respect, joy, accomplishment, satisfaction. Our time had come. We finally were recognized as citizens of the world.
I just thought of how much my brother had been discriminated against all his life because of his disability. When you see something like this and you see the president signing, that goes through your head. You think about this. You think, well, maybe this isn't in time to help my brother. But you think about how many other people won't have to go through that, because of this. I just thought, gee, this is something that I think is going to unleash a lot of people with disabilities in this country to do things that they never thought they could do before.
I had the sense that the moment was one that I would never forget, that there was a ceremony, and the ceremony was very important, but the moment was much more than that. The moment was a recognition of the rights and abilities of people with disabilities, a recognition of respect for people with disabilities, a recognition of the end of discrimination against people with disabilities, and that the spirit of that, the feeling, whole crowd, was that in American Sign Language there's a sign for that, and the sign is, it's called pa. Pa. That's how you make a sound when you sign it. Pa. And that was a pa day. That was the day that you guys saw us as your peers and not as someone who needed your help.
So we have quite the event planned today, but first I would like to thank everyone who helped to organize this event. And this includes the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disability staff, former members of the county's Commission on Disability Issues, current members of the Commission on Disability Issues, the Anne Arundel County Office of Information and Technology. And it's now my pleasure to introduce the Director of the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities, Carissa Gowan.
Thank you, Denise. Good morning. My name is Carissa Gowan, Director of the Department of Aging and Disabilities. Welcome to Disability Awareness Day 2020, and thank you all for joining us. Today, you take part in something very special, our first ever virtual Disability Awareness Day. COVID-19 has impacted all of our lives in a variety of ways, and in some ways has united us all. I would now like to recognize some of our special guests who have joined us today. Heather Campbell, representing Senator Ben Cardin's office. Bridget Smith, representing Congressman John Sarbanes' office. Maryland Delegate for District 21, Jocelyn Pena Melnick. Maryland Delegate for District 32, Sandy Bartlett. Anne Arundel County Executive Stuart Pittman. County Councilwoman Sarah Lacey, District 1. Chief of Staff for our County Executive, Dr. Kay Bogusta Brown. Deputy Chief Administrative Officer of Health and Human Services, Pamela Jordan. Interim Chief of Police for Anne Arundel County, William Lowry. Thelma Ubi from the County Executive's Office of Community Engagement and Constituent Services. Director of Equal Employment Opportunity and Human Relations Officer, Alana Dennis. And Shauna Leonard from the Maryland State Office for Blindness and Vision Services. Thank you all for joining us. Each October, Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities and the Commission on Disability Issues takes great pride in engaging the community for this disability awareness event. This is a day to celebrate and recognize abilities, diversity, equity, and opportunity. I am so grateful to the staff and the commission for contributing to this their time and passion to what has become such a signature event. Today, we recognize and celebrate individuals and businesses in the community for empowering individuals with disabilities to share their gifts and talents. We celebrate those that know the importance of creating an accessible physical environment, barrier-free for the community. We celebrate others for developing and sustaining services and resources that enrich the lives of individuals with disabilities. These organizations play a vital role in enhancing opportunities and services for the residents with disabilities in Anne Arundel County. Your contribution to the quality of life in our county is commended, and we are grateful for all of you. We also want to celebrate people from county government who have gone above and beyond in improving the lives of individuals with disabilities. And while we set aside this day to recognize these individuals, we appreciate and value our residents every day. This is a day to celebrate all abilities. At this time, it's my honor and pleasure to introduce our county executive, who has provided unwavering support and is dedicated to the health and wellness of county residents of all abilities, making Anne Arundel County the best place for all. Thank you for joining us, County Executive Stuart Pittman. Mr. County Executive, you're muted.
Thank you. Yeah, I always start out great, muted. So I guess this is, thanks, Carissa. This is the first year that this event has been virtual. And I was a little bit disappointed by that until I saw that video. Because I know I've never seen it. Probably some of you may have seen it, but being able to just sit quietly in my home and you in your homes and watch that with no distractions, that was powerful. And I think it probably made a lot of us a little bit teary. That quote I had never heard, and probably if I had been in this work like many of you have for so long, I would have heard it from President Bush: let the shameful walls of exclusion finally come tumbling down. And that really is powerful. It really does say it all. The issues that we've worked on at the county level are, we're still doing the work. We're still doing the work on housing. When we passed our fair housing bill, there were people with disabilities that were testifying in support of that bill. And I heard stories about housing discrimination against people with disabilities. And it gave me a lot of pride to be able to pass a bill like that for those people. And then, we have transportation issues and employment issues. And I remember when we were doing the plan for better access to Beverly Triton Nature Park, where there's a little beach right on the Chesapeake Bay, and it's a beautiful, beautiful property. And we were investing in the parking and investing in the, a little office at the entrance. And then I looked on the map, and they showed me this little path that went right down to the water. And I said, "What's that for? The cars don't, go down that far. What's that for?" "Well, that's for wheelchairs. That's so that people can actually get down to the beach." And we were looking for ways to cut the budget on the project, and there was no way that was coming out of the budget. And then I was really that made it clear to me when Pam Jordan told us that in our budget we were going to need to invest in a consultant to come in and evaluate access throughout county buildings and county parks, and that work is underway. And yeah, some of it's going to be expensive. We're going to be told that we need to do things that we haven't done that we should have done. And I got to tell you that this event every year, that video, and the great people that work in our Department of Aging and Disabilities remind me every single day that one way or another, at least every week, that these are priorities for the county. And we shortened our county slogan when I got elected. It was the best place to I can't live, work, and start a business. I think I shortened it to the best place, and then a year later I changed it again, and I added 2 more words to it, and we put signs up all over the county with those 2 words at the entrances everywhere, and those words were for all. And so now Anne Arundel County is the best place for all. I do have to say it's an aspirational slogan. We're trying to become the best place for all and leave nobody out. And but I hope that when people enter our county and they see that sign, and people with disabilities enter the county and see that sign, they know that we're talking about them. Um, so we have a lot of work to do. I was told when I decided to run for this office by a previous county executive, Janet Owens, that our Department of Aging and Disabilities was probably the most important department in county government, and that if I got elected, I darn well better treat them right. And I haven't forgotten that. And in fact, it gives me great pride that when we decided that we needed a deputy CAO at the top of government in my office to oversee all health and human services, we were able to get Pam Jordan. And she was, as you know, running the department. And we would not have been able to talk her into it, and we would not have even tried had we not had Carissa Gowan right there, ready to take the reins and carry on the work. So having Pam in our office reminds us every day that these are the issues that we need to pay attention to. And this is really, I think, how government should be judged. Whether we protect not only the most vulnerable people in our community, but the health and wellness of everybody. And that means everybody. So I don't know if I get the honor of introducing Pam or if it goes back to you for that, Carissa. But I would love to introduce Pam, or at least just say I'm looking forward to hearing what she says. I know she's a hero to many of you and done amazing work in the department, and she ain't done yet. So I'm going to pass it on to Pam.
Thank you, Mr. Pittman. What a great introduction. And it is a pleasure and an honor to be elevated into this position where we can put the disability equity lens on everything we do. And thank you. Thank you for that great introduction. That was a fabulous montage in the beginning. By the way, this is my first time doing this at home, so I know the lighting might be a little weird. So it's all about being flexible, right? the montage in the beginning brought back a lot of great memories. So I want to thank the dream team of Brandy, Robert, and Josh, our newest team member, for pulling that all together. Brought back a lot of really great memories. And on that note, just want to thank the whole Department of Aging and Disabilities under the leadership of Carissa for being so creative and partnering with the Commission on Disability Issues for making this year so successful. I would have, we just couldn't have gone on another year without, we had to do it this year. Denise, wow, you've had a lot of challenges this year. So welcome into your new leadership role, and want to thank you and Natoya Mitchell for all your leadership on the Commission on Disability Issues and all of your great work in this virtual environment. And Denise and I have worked together for many, many years. So you're as the county executive talked about in my new role as the deputy CAO for Health and Human Services, I am able to broaden the lens to reduce and eliminate barriers in all of county government, which is, again, one of the reasons he brought me on. So I'm really excited about the work we have to do and what I can do to help the county executive affect change from this post. So I am very passionate about my work, both in the professional level, and then as many of you know, I'm also very passionate since I'm the mother of an adult daughter who survived a grade 3 diffuse axonal brain injury in a car accident 4 years ago. And she is an adult with a disability, and learned firsthand the challenges of transportation and barriers and all the things that I've been advocate for many of the years. I learned firsthand. So it makes me even more passionate about the topic and the work that our honoree has done today. I want to congratulate everyone who's being recognized today for your public service and then for your passion for employing people with all abilities. Thank you so much. Of course, a special congratulations to Mr. Mineta as the 2020 honoree of the year. I hope I didn't ruin the program, but I think that everybody knows that he is going to be lifted up later in the program for his great work. Of course, Mr. Mineta, as you know, there's no greater barrier to the health and the quality of life than transportation and access for people with disabilities. I want to share a story from one of my years in county government when I was the ADA coordinator. So I was contacted by an older adult who was also a veteran and used a wheelchair to navigate. And he lived in a 55 plus community in a condominium in Odenton. And he loved to go have coffee in the condominium next door with his friend. But the only way he could reach his friend, because there weren't enough curb cuts in the community, was to come out of his front door, use the curb cut in front of his building, travel out into the parking lot, through the travel lanes of the community, around the neighborhood, and finally found a curb cut that he could get back up onto the curb and get into the building to have coffee with his friend. So as the ADA coordinator, it was a chance to make change in our planning and zoning and inspections and permits areas. And as a result, we put some legislation in that also holds our engineers and planning community accountable for turning in plans where ADA and fair housing has been considered, not only considered, but that it meets the law. So I thought that might resonate with you, Mr. Mineta, and all of the rest of the community. So again, congratulations to Mr. Mineta, all of our awardees. Thank you, Mr. Pittman, for elevating me to something I'm so passionate about, to do it in a broader scope under your leadership. And congratulations to all for Disability Awareness Day 2020. You did it. Congratulations. Have a great day.
Thank you, Pam. And thank you doesn't express our gratitude enough for all you've done for the department and individuals with disabilities over the years. At this time, it's my honor and pleasure to introduce County Councilwoman Sarah Lacey of District 1. You've been extremely supportive of our vision and work of this department in serving individuals with disabilities. Thank you, County Councilwoman Sarah Lacey.
Thank you, Carissa. I think we're maybe not to the point of presenting a citation to our honoree, but I do have one thing I guess I thought, this may be something the disability community already knows, but I'm pretty sure a curb cut is right up there with top inventions by mankind ever, after sidewalks and after the wheel. It just makes sense, and I think one of the beautiful things about curb cuts is how people begin to use them and realize, wow, I wish I'd never met a sidewalk that didn't have a curb cut when I want to go across, and that shifts our perspective. Those kinds of shifts in our perspective are monumental to moving our society forward, to treating everyone equally, but also with equity and broadening inclusion in our society. That's what should keep us going, and it's certainly one of the values I think we all share in public service. So I'm very pleased and honored to be able to participate today.
Thank you, County Executive Pittman and Councilwoman Lacey, Pam Jordan, and thank you, Carissa Gowan, for your continued support. One of the highlights of this event is the recognition of the Disability Awareness Day honoree, an award that goes to an individual that has consistently made a difference in the lives of persons with disabilities. Each year, we recognize one individual that has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to disability issues, or an organization so embedded in the community that the very name resonates as a beacon of opportunity. This year, we are pleased to recognize Secretary Norman Mineta as a recipient of the 2020 Disability Awareness Day Honoree Award. Before we hear from Secretary Mineta, I would like to share with you his story. Norman Y. Mineta is the president and CEO of Mineta and Associates, LLC, and former U.S. Secretary of Commerce and U.S. Secretary of Transportation. He is well known for his work in the areas of transportation, including aviation, surface transportation and infrastructure, and national security. He is recognized for his accomplishments in economic development, science and technology policy, foreign and domestic trade, budgetary issues, and civil rights. Mineta's career in public service has been both distinguished and unique. For almost 30 years, Mineta represented San Jose, California, first on the city council, then as mayor, then as a member of the U.S. Congress. Mineta served as chairman of the U.S. House Committee on Public Works and Transportation from 1992 to 1994, and chaired the subcommittees on aviation and surface transportation. In 2000, President Bill Clinton appointed Mineta Secretary of Commerce, and he was also appointed by President George W. Bush as his Secretary of Transportation, where he served until 2006. Recognized for his leadership, Mineta has received numerous awards, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the United States, and the Wright Brothers Memorial Trophy, which is awarded for significant public service of enduring value to aviation in the United States. Congratulations, Secretary Norman Mineta. County Executive Pittman, would you read the citation for Secretary Mineta?
I will, and I am so proud that that we have such a hero living right here in our county. So our citation says, executive citation honoring Norman Mineta, recipient of the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities and the Commission on Disabilities Issues 2020 honoree of Disability Awareness Day. In recognition and appreciation of your outstanding dedication, leadership, and extraordinary service to individuals with disabilities. Your dedication to the Americans with Disabilities Act has impacted the lives of millions of Americans. By authoring the transportation accessibility portion of the ADA, you have opened up countless opportunities to give individuals with disabilities the right to live independently and with dignity. You have generated funding through legislation to ensure accessibility throughout our country, and you recognize that curb cuts were the cornerstone of easy wheelchair accessibility. We thank you and extend to you our sincere appreciation, gratitude, and best wishes for your continued service. Thank you for helping to make Anne Arundel County the best place for all.
Thank you. Councilwoman Lacey, would you read your citation for Secretary Mineta?
Yes, I will, with pleasure. Secretary Mineta, the Anne Arundel County Council presents you with this citation as the 2020 honoree on Disability Awareness Day in recognition of your dedication to the Americans with Disabilities Act, impacting the lives of millions of Americans. The Anne Arundel County Council thanks you for your advocacy on behalf of the citizens of the United States and Anne Arundel County.
Thank you for recognizing this year's Disability Awareness Day honoree. Secretary Mineta, would you like to say a few words?
Here we go. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. And thank you very much to County Executive Stuart Pittman and to the chair of the County Disabilities Commission, Chairwoman Denise. Appreciate very much your work on the commission. But I'm also very, very indebted to a very, very dear friend, Wes Irvin and his wife, Pam, who nominated me for this honor. This comes about as a result of when I was mayor of San Jose, and I was elected mayor in 1971. And I had a person who had polio when he was a young person and had been confined to a wheelchair since he was 6 years old. And he worked on my campaign for mayor. And so at the time I was inaugurated as mayor, he said to me, Norm, would you mind staying in a wheelchair for the first week of your work as the new mayor of San Jose? And so I did. I had a wheelchair. I pulled it out of the back seat, got into the wheelchair, couldn't get it out of the parking lot because, again, there was no way for me to be able to get up on the curb without assistance. And then trying to get into City Hall with the doors opening the wrong way, or trying to make a phone call, or trying to make, just trying to do drinking out of the fountain, or trying to make a phone call in a payphone. And all these things that we take for granted, I just couldn't do. Excuse me. So in that 1 week, I learned how much what we take for granted every day was not something that everyone could do. So we introduced curb cuts in the city of San Jose, 1971. I also took the grates on the street and turned them so that the bicycles tires would not fall into the splits on the grate. And so through that experience, I was able to get exposed to things that we couldn't otherwise do. And so when the Americans with Disabilities Act was being put together, with the help National Council on Disabilities, helped write the transportation portion of it. Jim Jeffords of Vermont wrote the education portion, and other members of Congress had certain other responsibilities as part of their role in the Americans with Disabilities Act. And when I saw that video before the program started today, frankly, it made me tear again about watching and listening to all those thoughts of what people were experiencing. And then to see the chairman of the President's Commission on Disabilities, Justin Dart, in his wheelchair and just reliving that day today just brought a great deal of tears to my thoughts, just as it did to Mr. Pittman. So again, thank you very much, everybody, for your role in this honor today. But I really want to thank everyone who helped put this together, and in terms of the signing, leading up to the signing of the Disability Act in 1990. But again, thank you to Anne Arundel County and to the Commission and to you, Denise, for this great honor. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Secretary Mineta. If this was in person this year, I would totally be asking you for your autograph. It's an honor and privilege to have you join us, and we're so grateful for your dedication to individuals with disabilities. It's well deserved, and we applaud you. Again, this year, we are pleased in recognizing several individuals and businesses in the community. The following awards go to businesses, service providers, and other organizations that have removed barriers or obstacles for people with disabilities. Here are your awardees for the Public Service Awards. Delegate Jocelyn Penamelnick, nominated by Commissioner and Cody Secretary Natoya Mitchell. Delegate Pena Malnick, I apologize if I mispronounced her name, represents Maryland's 21st District and is the Vice Chair of the Health and Government Operations Committee. She has sponsored and co-sponsored numerous bills supporting public accommodations, employment, and housing for all. She is committed to making Maryland stronger, more inclusive, and equitable for all. Congratulations. Anne Arundel Women Giving Together, nominated by Commissioner Joan Turek. This organization provides grants to local nonprofits providing food security and basic human needs to the vulnerable and underserved populations in Anne Arundel County. They have given millions of dollars in grant money to individuals with disabilities to help them live with dignity and independence in the community. Congratulations. Carissa Gowan, Director of the Department of Aging and Disabilities, nominated by Commissioner Katie Collins-Erkey. Ms. Gowan ensures there's always a disability voice within the Department of Aging and Disabilities. She ensures that county residents receive the best services and supports to meet their needs. Several years ago, when a state grant had ended, Ms. Gowan was integral in pursuing funds to employ staff with a disability 2 days per week. She understands the importance of having people with disabilities support Anne Arundel County residents with disabilities. She believes in the adage, nothing about us without us, as demonstrated by her commitment to walking the walk and talking the talk. Congratulations. Kelly Sweeney, Disability Support Services Specialist at Anne Arundel Community College, nominated by myself, Dr. Denise Portis, Cody Chair. Ms. Sweeney has been an integral part of the community college by providing accommodations for equity in learning and serving as the advisor for SODA, which stands for Students Out to Destroy Assumptions. This is a group that raises awareness on campus about students with disabilities. Ms. Sweeney also started and is coordinating Anne Arundel Community College's Disability Ambassador Program. This certificate program offers workshops for faculty and staff to accumulate hours specifically geared towards awareness and the proactive support for people with disabilities. Ms. Sweeney also coordinates a biannual disability awareness fair for the campus and the community. Her wheelchair obstacle course was instrumental in gaining newer disability access doors, helping the college exceed recommended ADA guidelines. Congratulations, Kelly. Kelly Maples Bethel, nominated by Commissioner Philip A. Holloway. Ms. Maples Bethel has dedicated her career to assisting persons with limited abilities maximize their capacity to live a fuller life than ever imagined. Educated as a physical therapist, she uses movement, primarily yoga, as a method of healing, restoration, and health maintenance. She educates other teachers on various types of yoga and has also developed and implemented yoga for stroke patients and yoga for chronic pain. During the COVID-19 pandemic, classes were unable to meet, so she brought her classes to the virtual world to continue to provide services to her clients safely. Congratulations. Susan Thomas, Anne Arundel County Food Banks, nominated by Brandy Francis, Interim Director of Disability and Community Services for the Department of Aging and Disabilities. Ms. Thompson and the Food Bank have dedicated their resources and services to county residents of all abilities. They have served thousands of pounds of fresh food to older adults and individuals with disabilities since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, filling a critical need for these individuals. They have shifted and evolved with the many changes that have occurred during this pandemic and have continued to shape their model around the needs of these individuals. Congratulations. Harrington on the Bay, nominated by Jennifer Jackson, Interim Nutrition Program Manager for the Department of Aging and Disabilities. This organization is a wedding venue that reached out to the Department of Aging and Disabilities to offer their services during the pandemic. They recognize the food security needs of older adults and individuals with disabilities living in South County. Each week, they provided around 50 meals to various locations throughout the southern part of the county, and most recently distributed 120 meals to a senior apartment complex in Edgewater. Thank you and congratulations. Pat Jarvis, Director of Training at Fidos for Freedom Incorporated, nominated by myself, Dr. Denise Portis, Cody Chair. Ms. Jarvis has been a volunteer for Fidos for Freedom Incorporated since 1989. Fidos for Freedom Incorporated is an Assistance Dogs International service dog organization that trains service dogs and places them in their forever homes with an individual with disabilities in our community. Ms. Jarvis has seen dozens of teams successfully navigate training and graduation and has spent years directing other dedicated and talented dog trainers who, like her, love people with disabilities and believe in the independence that a service dog can grant them. Pat Jarvis was my first trainer for my first service dog. Thank you, Pat, and congratulations. Jamie McKay and Teddy Krolik and the Maryland Transit Administration team, nominated by Commissioner Katie Collins-Erke. The MTA team has taken extraordinary steps to ensure that the disability voice is heard and listened to. They implemented an inclusive transportation planning process, which helped to ensure the MTA received input from people with disabilities in their planning stages of their projects. And they strive to make the Central Maryland Regional Transit Plan accessible to people with disabilities. They offered listening sessions to gather input from the disability community and offered accessibility to those who required plain text, like people who use screen readers. They recognize the importance of transportation for people with disabilities. Thank you for your work and congratulations. The next set of awards to be given recognize businesses that value the importance of employment for individuals with disabilities with the Employment Award. These businesses are committed to a robust and competitive workforce. With them, we are able to celebrate the contributions of workers with disabilities, and we are able to educate about the value of a workforce inclusive of the skills and talents of people of all abilities. Here are your awardees for the Employment Awards. Gloria Dent, nominated by Commissioner and Cody Secretary Natoya Mitchell. Mrs. Dent is the Director of Veterans Employment Initiatives. As a member of the U.S. AbilityOne Commission, she provides employment opportunities for people who are blind or having significant disabilities in the manufacturing and delivering of products and services to the federal government. Mrs. Dent is passionate about competitive, integrated employment and has provided training and development for thousands of people to achieve their maximum employment potential. Thank you and congratulations. Arthur Evans, University of Maryland, Baltimore, Washington Medical Center, nominated by Amy Bullen, Providence Center. Baltimore Washington Medical Center has proven time and time again how much they value employees of all abilities. Arthur Evans, an individual the Providence Center and staff supports, was provided all accommodations needed to ensure her success at BWMC. Arthur Evans sees her potential as limitless, and Baltimore Washington Medical Center recognizes that potential as well. They have capitalized on her strengths, and she is now relied on for her cleaning skills. BWMC staff are kind and patient and understanding, and they help employees with disabilities to learn and acquire necessary proficiencies and aptitudes to take on further duties. Congratulations. Biddy and Bo's Coffee, nominated by Commissioner Chelsea Lay Murphy. Biddy and Bo's Coffee is run by employees with intellectual and developmental disabilities. They have created a path for people with disabilities to become more valued, accepted, and included in every community. They also serve really good coffee. Congratulations. Lighthouse Bistro, nominated by Jennifer Jackson, Interim Nutrition Program Manager. Lighthouse Bistro has done an exemplary job stepping up to meet the needs of adults experiencing homelessness and older adults living with disabilities. They are known for their innovative approach to decreasing recidivism by working with adults re-entering the workforces and providing them with hands-on experience working at their restaurant to develop culinary and hospitality skills. During the pandemic, they transitioned from dine-in services to delivering high-quality prepackaged hot meals to adults experiencing homelessness and adults with disabilities. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thanks to all of the awardees in today's ceremony. This concludes the awards portion of Disability Awareness Day. Thank you all for making a difference. because at the end of the day, everyone deserves to feel valued and included and to have opportunities that promote hope, independence, and dignity. Now we'd like to present some amazing talent from the Musical Oddist, Hands of Harmony, and Fidos for Freedom.
Hello, my name is Will Swartz, and I've been part of the Musical Artists since the very beginning, about 9.5 years ago now. And the song I wrote is called Mountain of Life. I wrote it to address the fact that people get treated differently just because of how different they are. And I wrote this to show you that it's okay to be different, that you don't need to be picking on people for it.
reaching out, touching me, touching you. Good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe there never was, but now I look at the night and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I hurt, burden runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you? Warm, touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Good times never seem so good. To believe there never was, no, no. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. Sweet Caroline, I believe they'll never come.
Okay, choir, thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Sunny Sefarati. I am the co-founder of the Musical Artist. The mission and vision of our organization is to promote access to the arts and to create platforms for self-advocacy. We perform for Disability Awareness Day every single year. So I want to thank the people who organized Disability Awareness Day for allowing us to perform again this year. Today, I am going to play the song True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. This is a classic 1980 song, and I love the message that it talks about. How every one of us has gifts and colors, and every one of us is unique and different. So here is my rendition of True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged, do I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. Oh, find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, ooh, yeah,
not in this one. My mistake. Kaylee is not in this song.
There's a man who lives beside me who fought in World War II. He proudly waves on glory from high upon his roof. He starts out every morning like it's Independence Day. I've seen him at attention, salute the flag and say, I love this land, from sea to shining sea. I love this land, home of the brave and free. I love the liberty, the justice, and the truth on which we stand. One nation under God. I love this land. All across the country, big cities, little towns, while mama's getting ready, dad pulls the car around. They join the congregation to sing Amazing Grace. They're free to worship Jesus, and they are free to pray. I love this land, from sea to shining sea. I love this land, home of the brave and free. I love the liberty, the justice, and the truth on which we stand. One nation under God. I love this land. Bless America. I will stand beside her and defend her with my life. For my children, for freedom. Oh, I love this land, from sea to shining sea. I love this land, home of the brave and free. I love the liberty, the justice, and the truth on which we stand. One nation under God. I love this one nation under God. I love this
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hands of Harmony Sign Language Choir of Maryland. Thank you.
Thank you for joining our first ever virtual Disability Awareness Day for Anne Arundel County, Maryland. Thank you to all who participate on the front lines and behind the scenes in our county to ensure accessibility for all. Enjoy your weekend.